It's a time for pick it from China. Hey, welcome back. In today's video we're going to be doing a little bit of a chit chat about the M15, the Ultra Edition. But how ultra is it? I've paid around like 20 bucks for it. But was it actually worth that 20 bucks? Because now with the fierce competition there are many options out there. Don't you love the nonsense they put on these boxes? 3D games! Okay, that can be true. HDR, that's absolutely like complete nonsense. And 8K Ultra HD. But after doing so many of these thing reviews, I can tell you it's absolutely laughable how bad these packaging are getting, or at least how creative they are. But the massive problem we're having with these devices is that the SD cards they're using. They're so low quality, after 3 boots up, they get corrupted. And your device is just actually a piece of plastic or a brick. So with that in mind, we're going to be needing and making a backup, so you should do the same. And just transfer to a normal SanDisk SD card, because those are really cheap to buy nowadays. And just make a backup and make sure your SD card is not getting corrupted. But one thing is in fact that we're having a new generation of controllers, not the chemical PlayStation 2 ones. So there are 64 and 128 gigabyte editions, and you know what happens to the box? Oh boy, they are like being very rough with these things, but the cardboard, well, it's thick enough, but they're just thrown with these things. So when it comes to the game stick, there's no brand on it whatsoever. Seriously, like nothing. Can remove the cap for the HDMI port. So let's see what's going on. Micro USB still for powering on. Having over here the USB only one for the dongle. And yeah, I'm going to be needing a hub if you have like more than 2 controllers. And they're having, let's see, everything YC. Okay, yeah, that's not really a brand. 64 gigabyte. That was the only one that was actually for sale at the moment. The dongle, let's already plug this thing in here. Let's see if we can actually plug it in. And here we're having the toilet paper manual with some explanations. The menu does look nice. So I do wonder is actually this manual, because they change it out all the time. Micro USB cable, a very long one. And extension cord, because these things are so thick, the most of the time you don't fit in your HDMI port, or at least there's not enough room, because multiple devices connected. So on here we're having the 2 AA batteries that we're going to be needing to click in there. Wow, this is very flimsy. There's no rumble in it, that's one thing I can already tell you. The overall quality is pretty bad. It feels very flimsy. The controls are sturdy enough. The XY buttons feel quite nice. We do have rubberized joystick. I guess those first generation PlayStation 2 had no rubberized joystick. They were like really chemical smell. And the D-pad is also not bad at all. Select and start, micro switch with the Mo button, indication for the LED, I think for charging. For seeing the battery indication, but also what kind of player or what player you are. And that's actually it. But let's plug it in. Now let's see what's going on. And we're back with the funky music. And indeed, it is actually the menu that is shown in the manual. But let's do a quick overview. What are we getting today? Let's press start. Can we actually do there somewhere? Mode, select. There we're having. Language. Let's see. We do have a lot of different languages. Key tune. Let's mute that one. Picture quality. Okay, so we can actually adjust that. Factory settings, system information, type M18, that's it. So this thing is actually made in 2024. Exit settings, and then we can scroll through the list itself. But if you wonder, nope, you cannot shut down the freaking music. Yeah, it's actually how it is. But let's see what's going on. We're having over all kinds of different systems. We have all kinds of arcade, MAME, Neo Geo. The menu, oh man, it works really slow. Hey, we do have setup over here, that's interesting. Oh, it's the same thing. Just actually going into the settings like that. Customize. Okay, we do have the option for customize, but doesn't do it. I think this is what I mean with favorites, less played. Favorites, oh no, this is a favorite, and this is, okay, that's confusing. Is it maybe then history? That's weird. All games, arcade, classics, they made a lot of categories. And this way we can just fairly easy choose. But I find it very strange that the D-pad doesn't do anything when it comes to the menu. That's quite annoying. But let's get into the games and let's see how they overall run. Because there's always the question with these freaking things. So start off with some arcade, and also let's see what's going on when pressing select and start. So we do have key mapping, but there's nothing much going on over there, so that's quite unfortunate. Let's see if we can put in a credit on the selection, and I think this is not going to be happening because I'm having what the, did it just froze on me or what? We have like the option to make a quick save, but everything looks so weird. Oh, here you can archive. That's actually how it works, okay. But it's all fun and game. It doesn't boot up, it doesn't do anything. Let's try number 2. Let's see if it gets to the menu. Really annoying that they actually do this. Oh man, what a nightmare. The second file seems to be working normally. With this particular game we don't have anything going on. It's so weird that my D-pad is not working, also not in game. So I'm guessing I'm having a defect in my controller. So I'm going to be switching to another one to see if this is going to be solving the problem. But emulation performance on some arcade stuff seems to be just fine. Oh crap, did I mess it up? Come on, I can finish it. This is a really old school game. Okay, there we go. Oh. Ha ha ha! And this way we can actually make a save over here. Let's go to the left, let's archive. That's kind of cool. So also have like a tiny screenshot. Okay, that seems to be working. Let's go to the next game. The question remains, can we now use the D-pad? No, we can't. Okay, this is absolutely a freaking nightmare. Oh, and I chose the wrong character. Let's switch the freaking controller and let's see if this is an error in the software or is this going to be a problem with the freaking device itself. Let's boot up the second controller. Okay, that seems to be working with the D-pad, so my other controller is just broken out of the box. Man, oh man, what a freaking mess. But it's unfortunate with this particular device that everything is a widescreen shenanigans. Every single time we're going to be having the same menu. So it's kind of unfortunate there's no bezels implemented. I know for a fact these things are running some weird emulation version that has the option to implement like aspect ratio and everything. And of course we can use our television to do that if you have the option. But performance wise, this is just not affecting anything, but it's quite unfortunate because now we do have some crazy widescreen going on. But the biggest problem we're going to be facing with the widescreen shenanigans. So now we do have a game that's going to be played normally on 4:3. So stretched up, I think it's not going to be like a super problem. But if you're having a game that is normally played vertically, and then they're going to be having an absolutely horrendous situation because some of them will going to be ultimate stretched out. So this is Neo Geo systems, no problem there either. So the emulation performance on the most games we played is quite good. So where these simple games like the Famicom or the NES, you would think this will run perfectly. Sometimes you would be surprised how they actually messed it up. We do have turbo button, so where normally NES is going to be played by 2 buttons, we have multiple. The shoulder buttons don't do anything. But we do have turbo buttons enabled, so this is going to be super convenient and super easy to play this game. Turbo Fister, yeah! Ha! Oh, that's really cheesy when it comes to that. And of course we can make a quick save over here. So if you mess up, we can just actually go from that point. And Kung Fu is one of those NES games you should try, but the arcade version is freaking brutal. Like, oh, instant rage mode. Super NES. There is a weird thing going on, but let's get into the game. It can be me. Yeah, this idea that sounds really weird. Sounds a little bit off when it comes to that. But so far, getting into the game, don't notice anything going on. If you want to know if you can actually also make a save file in the game, this particular game already had a save file in it, so it seems to be that it is possible if you want to play it through the original way, but of course you can also make a quick load, quick save. And also when it comes to high scores and stuff like that. But let's get into the game and let's see how the Game Boy Advance runs, because this is one of the parts they love to mess up. It's always fun to actually get back to the games that we've played. So DJ Boy is one of them. I don't know if this is going to be in game, that is actually worth a lot, but it was like a fun game that was also in the arcades. The arcade version had the option to play together, but why I really enjoy this game, where this is just a simple beat 'em up, there's nothing much going on. You have like punching, kicking and some obstacles. You need to collect the coins and you can even do some upgrading and stuff like that. It was kind of cool. And those upgrade systems, man, they were so cool. Alex Kids is such an interesting concept that I not really played a lot because it was on a MAS system, and that is one of the things I skipped. But let's go outside, or what kind of game is it actually? No, it was like an adventure game, but also MAS system seems to be working just fine. Well, we do have the option to play some PlayStation 1, but I find this game really choppy. The D-pad is not working on my other controller, but I can tell you where the feel of the D-pad is quite nice for just beat 'em up games. I must say that for fighting, it feels not really responsive. So let's do a super move. Ooh, I can actually do that. Wow. Okay. Oh yes, this is some really old school stuff. That guy is going to be surviving it. Nope, mission failed. That was a quick test. But moving to the next game, you can actually see that it runs kind of choppy. You can see it with the letters and the loading screen. Everything is not like it's supposed to be. So the overall performance is absolutely bad for PlayStation. So the part that normally was working quite nice, and you see that is the thing with these game sticks, you know. Somehow they keep messing it up. But the music is I guess supposed to be, but with the PlayStation 1, this is a clear sign that two-dimensional games are playable to some point, but if you're going to be looking into, let's say, the three-dimensional stuff, no, this is not going to be playable at all. It's choppy, it's really bad. And that is quite unfortunate when it comes to this. So I'll give you another example with some gags. Let's do that. Oh man, it also doesn't really remember where you left. Oh yes, ooh, let's try this one.
This is Howard Finkel, and welcome.
And there is no background music. Or there is. Okay, let's get into the game. That is another problem we've noticed with a lot of handhelds and other stuff, that there's no background music. But that's just a simple game. I don't have any music now, but you can see that this is a playable situation. So two-dimensional stuff seems to be working fine on these very cheap game sticks. This is such a funny game. I played this a lot on the Sega 32X last time. Woo! Oh yeah! But in the end there is so much to play on a device like this, but it does have a lot of problems. PlayStation 1 didn't run perfectly with every single game, and that is quite unfortunate. Yeah, we do have some Sega 32X and with some these are PC Engine CD, that's absolutely awesome. But you know, even the pictures are completely wrong. Yep. Oh man, seriously, like these sticks are just going to be a hit or miss, and we've seen it a lot here on the channel. But let's open it up and let's see what's going on. Can I actually open this thing up? I can see that there is some space in here, but opening up is always like quite of a massive challenge. So let's get this out of there. Otherwise I'm going to be ripping up this SD card, because this thing is getting really hot on the inside. So this is actually what is in there. There is nothing much to see. Let's see if I can remove this piece of metal. Okay, they put on a metal so to give it a little bit of cooling, but of course this is completely weird. So wow, look at this tiny chip. I don't know if you can even see it. Like how tiny this thing is. I can even zoom in. It's called MS. That's it. Oh wait, there's the Rock chip 3032. That's actually what's inside of this thing. So yeah, man, this is interesting because this is this like a revision of the chip? I've never seen them this small. But they're finding just new ways to make these things cheaper. But, you know, this is just a big mess when it comes to the software. Quite unfortunate. Let me know what you think, man, in the comments. But beside that, yep, the sticks, you never know what you're getting until you're going to be opening it up and checking it out, of course. But yeah, that they're putting a piece of metal on it, that is okay, but that's the only thing. No ventilation holes, nothing at all. We can say another one bites the dust, because this is actually what's happening over here. So for 8-bit, 16-bit, we can actually play a lot of cool stuff on there. But, you know, it's quite limited when it comes to the software. PlayStation 1 is in a hot mess. Okay, they did learn, because the N64 PlayStation Portable that they always like added to these things are completely gone. They're not in there. I think they realized they're like running so bad, they're actually harming the product. So when it comes to these game sticks, the controllers, I must say this is absolutely an improvement. But the other one I had over here had not a working D-pad. So yep, that thing can go back to the refund pile. Besides that, let me know in the comments what do you think of a device like this. Thank you all for watching, and it will be great to see you in the next video.